the 29th of August 1882. The body will be cremated and the ashes taken to Australia. The words have remained ever since. The concept caught the imagination of the sporting public.
Okay, I get it. That's good. Okay, how you doing, guys? Balefire back with you. What is this? I've seen it in the comments. I've seen it online, perusing cricket and cricket-related things because I'm looking into it now. And I think it might have been explained to me briefly in a comment. I think it was kind of a long-winded one, which is fine. I read them all. But I don't think I got it. I don't know if it's because I was distracted at the time or what. So I know it's related to cricket, and I know it's a test, but that's it. So, you know, in my YouTube travels, I found what I think is an explanation of what ashes is, and I'm not there yet. No idea. So I'm going to check it out because it looks kind of interesting. So what is ashes when it comes to cricket? I guess I'm about to find out. Join me. I'm sure all of you know what ashes is. It was explained to me, but it was brief, and I don't remember anything about the explanation. I read so many comments. So let's check it out together. You guys could join me in my ignorance of cricket again, and I'll get confused even more with this ashes. And it looks like there's a calendar for 25, 26. So it's obviously a series of tests. Okay, let's check it out. What's ashes? The origins of it.
Here we are on the eve of another Ashes series, and it promises to be a fantastically competed for series between England and Australia. But now, what are the ashes?
Well, that looked like an urn. Somebody mentioned that to me. Is this like a person's ashes? Come on.
Well, the term ashes, the ashes was first used after England lost to Australia for the first time on home soil in England, and that was in August 1882. We're turning the clock back 135 years.
Wow. That's pretty crazy back then when there was no, actual, photographs when it came to sports. You had to rely on illustrations. Although I have to say, compared to a lot of old sports illustrations, that's not bad. That's not bad.
And it was a significant defeat for England. It wasn't the first match between England and Australia. That was 1877, the first test match at the MCG. But this was significant because of what happened afterwards. Just check the scorecard from this memorable test match.
I swear, I know you guys grew up with this, and it's not that complicated to you. And if I have a cheat sheet in front of me, I can figure out the scoring. It's just weird. I feel like I need an honors math calculator to calculate all this stuff. Whatever happened to like 2-0 or 4-3? It's like the NBA and basketball, like here in North America. Sometimes I just feel like they should spot each other 90 points and play for 10 minutes. But, this is what I'm trying to get into. So, all right, let's keep going. I still don't know what these ashes are, though.
Target of 85 were bowled out for 77 in 55 overs. W.G. Grace made 32 and Sporforth picked up 7 for 44. He picked up 14 for 90 in the match, but England lost that test match.
Now, here's a question about cricket. I hear commentators saying, so he got this many overs for this many points. So I get the fact that the first designation is the play, and the next one is the points that were earned by that play. Do the number of plays come into consideration in the result of like ties? Because otherwise, why include that in the score? I mean, in a baseball game afterwards, yes, I'm comparing it to baseball again. Give me a break on that one. Baseball came from cricket. Baseball game, they're going to say, they had, well, I guess in a baseball game, they would say, he had a home run and he drove in 3 runs on this one. So I guess it's kind of the same. Come on, guys. I didn't grow up with it. I'm trying.
Well, there was a gloom in English cricket, in English sport after this. The Sporting Times, the day later, wrote what was an obituary. It was a supposed mythical obituary for English cricket, and it read, English cricket died at the Oval, 29th of August, 1882. The body will be cremated and the ashes taken to Australia. The words have remained ever since. The concept caught the imagination of the sporting public.
Okay, I get it. That's good. That's really, really good. So, oh man, that's really good humor. So, all right. So the defeat was so monumentous and so crushing and so unexpected that they declared it the death of English cricket and took the body. So what's the body? What? They obviously burned something in there. Okay, I'm getting it. This is cool. This is very original.
At the end of the 1882 cricket season, Ivo Bligh, who didn't play in that match at the Oval, was given the captaincy of England, and he took an England side to Australia to play 3 tests, and he vowed to return with the Ashes. Now, they were mythical, these Ashes. The Australian counterpart, Billy Murdoch, would have none of that. He said they were going to defend them. What were
Look at
the
that
Ashes?
stash.
But during this
Just browsing.
Yeah, you don't have a mustache, though.
1982-83 tour, England played a lot of social matches. One of them was at Christmas Eve at a place called Rupert's Wood, just outside Melbourne. And the game which England won was a bit of a social affair. Captain Ivo Bligh actually met his future wife, Florence Murphy, who, folklore tells us, presented him with an urn. Now, this is my
All right, this is getting good. Yeah, yeah, I'm digging this. There's definitely some there's some personality in this. All right.
own urn, but this is the size of the urn where the ashes are now kept. She presented him with this. Many people thought it was a perfume holder. It might well have been. And it contained the ashes of the bales in that match on Christmas Eve that were burned and given to Captain Bligh, and he kept it, and he regarded that as a present. Now then, he married the lovely Florence Murphy. They went back to England after England had won that series, and that urn stayed on the mantelpiece at their family home in Rochester in Kent at Cobham Hall.
Wow.
Until Bligh died in 1927, 43 years later. Now, at his request, Florence's wife bequeathed that urn, and it's only this big, to the MCC. And today, over 90 years on, this tiny, delicate, and irreplaceable artifact resides in the MCC Museum at
Wow.
Wales Cricket Ground in London. In the 1990s, the England and Wales Cricket Board commissioned...
Oh, that's cool. I got to take that back and look at that again. Look at that. So that's a small little urn, too. Okay, so originally the ashes were just kind of mythical. And then when England went back to Australia, they burned... What did they burn? The wickets? I can't remember.
In the 1990s, the England and Wales Cricket Board commissioned an urn-shaped Waterford crystal glass trophy. And the Ashes trophy is what the modern teams play for now. It's crystal glass. And it was first presented to Mark Taylor after his team won the 98-99 Ashes against England. The urn has only twice been taken out of Lord's. Once for the Australian bicentenary celebrations in 1988, and secondly to accompany the Ashes series in 2006-07. I don't know what the reason was for that.
What?
In terms of numbers, Australia and England have each won 32 times with 5 draws. It's absolutely level. But isn't it marvellous that in all these years, these highly paid cricket professionals are playing for a trophy about that size, the urn which contains the ashes that goes back to bygone years, to 1882.
Wow.
It's a wonderful story, but nothing comes bigger between England and Australia than the Ashes.
Wow, okay. That's a really cool piece of history. So do they, what was it in there again? I can't remember what exactly was burned in it and or what ashes were put in it. That's a pretty cool piece of sporting history. I like it how these timeless names and designations and tournaments end up getting these handles that are steeped in history to the point where people don't even know, what they mean, anymore. You'll never walk alone. There's in hockey, there's actually it goes, right across the Olympics. You have Team Australia, Team Canada, Team USA, Team this, Team that. Before the 72 Summit Series, and anybody who's a hockey fan will know what I'm talking about, national teams were never referred to as Team this or Team that. They were just, it'd be the Australian national team or the Canadian national team. And when Harry Sinden and that crook Alan Eagleson were hanging out when they were planning this Summit Series between Central Red Army, which was Russia's team in 72, and the Canadian national team. They were trying to figure out what they should put on their shirts, on their sweaters. Old school hockey call them sweaters, not jerseys. And they couldn't figure out whether they came up with a bunch of names like Canada Stars, Canada Selects, and Harry Sinden just popped out with it. How about Team Canada? And it caught on. Because at least in international hockey, every team is known as Team Sweden, Team USA, Team Canada. And it all came from, a conversation back in 1971, or 72. It's kind of neat. But those are the little kind of cool things about sports history that help make, the games so timeless. And this Ashes thing, that's really cool. It reminds me of when I heard about State of Origin for the first time. I'm like, what does that mean, State of Origin? If you've never heard it before and you don't know the context, it sounds like a weird name. Is this is that an event, or is this it sounds like a movie. State against state, mate against mate. Then it made a lot of sense. So that was really cool. I'm glad I looked that up. Ashes. And it says here, Ashes 2025-2026 calendar. So how many matches do they play? And are they played both in Australia and England? Or is it back and forth? They're obviously tests. Is there a set number of them every year? They said they were tied, 32 apiece. This image that I have could very well be different than the video that I pulled up. I'm not sure when the video was from, so that might not be accurate anymore. But anyways, there you go. So now I know what Ashes is. That was really cool. I like that one. I got some wild stuff coming up that I'm going to check out. What do I got? You guys probably knows what these are. I got a few cool things coming up. I got, I don't know how real these are. If these are actually, tell me if these are real things. I've got underwater hockey. Really? Moon rock throwing. Soapbox racing. Okay, I know what that is. Extreme ironing? Is that a thing? Toe wrestling. Sheep counting. You got to be kidding me. Yabby races. An Australian tradition. Hemp Olympics. Beer can regatta. Cane toad racing. Cow racing. And on top of that, I've got dinghy boat river racing, and I've got, what was the other one that I got coming up? I got something else. It was another race. I think it was a desert race. It's kind of a strange race. That one's coming up too. Forgive me, guys. I'm kind of getting used to the new camera, so I keep looking at the computer screen and not the camera. My old one was in a better spot, so bear with me while I get used to my new equipment. As the microphones, too. Leave a message in the comments as to how the microphones sound, because they're dynamics, they're good mics, but I'm having a lot of trouble with the positioning and the levels. So if the plosives are too, or the sibilance is too, let me know. So yeah, let me know what the sounds like. I'm deaf in my left ear, so it's hard for me to get a judge on really good sound quality. So anyways, thanks for joining me on this one. I hope you all enjoyed it. Like I said, I got a lot of new stuff coming up, and please check out my thank you video, because I put out a bit of a challenge there for you folks to send in your own videos or your own images to me so I can make kind of a compilation video out of it. So go check that one out. If you do have any photos or videos of you in a place that I've covered on the channel, or if it's just a place that you think that I should see, or just a really cool place in Australia or Tasmania or New Zealand, drop me an email at thebalefirepodcast.com. That's the BALEFIRE podcast.com at gmail.com. And I'm going to start compiling this if I can get enough interest. So, yeah, if you guys are part of the 98% that aren't not. So, yeah. For my own shameless plug, if you're part of the 98% that's not subscribed, just hit that subscribe button for me. Really helps out my channel. The goal is to get to Australia. That's now the goal of my channel, is to get to Australia and film this stuff for myself and meet some of you people along the way. So best way you can help me get there, just hit that subscribe button, hit a like, leave a comment. May you all find water and shade. If you're still watching the video right now, you're my favorite person in the world. And I will see you on the next one. Cheers from Canada.